of Wano. But here is our question for today. How many years ago did we last see Zoro use Ashura in the story? Is it
Here is nice view.
B, 11
You
years
can
ago,
see the
C,
windmills.
12 years ago? I mean, whatever it ends up being, it's been a criminally long amount of time, but which is it? Select your choice now and we shall reveal the answer in 3, 2, 1, and bam! We see 12 years. Last time we saw Ashura was in chapter 510, published in August 2008, so exactly 500 chapters ago. And if you chose A or B, then, well, you know the thing to do, and please do say hi in the comments below if you are a new member of the Grand Fleet. Welcome. But Zoro is definitely revelation in the world, I was completely stunned by the vague confirmation that Zoro has Conqueror's Haki. So much so that I really wasn't sure quite what to say at first. Oh, also Zoro actually has Conqueror's Haki. It's pretty cool.
I like the sunsets.
And this is why I don't post full reactions. Because you could throw like the most world-shaking revelation at me, and with my stupid Australian sensibilities, I'll just react to it.
I wasn't fast, this guy's slow.
Oh,
It's pretty
okay.
alright, I guess. I don't even know what to say about this. It's slightly problematic because saying things with my mouth is pretty much the entire point of the channel. It's just strange because even though we have collectively theorized about this possibility for years and years and years, in fact, I made a video as recently as February where I argued for why Zoro probably has it, which I suppose is now going to be flooded with a bunch of comments about how well it aged. Unlike the video I made about the whole Ode mystery, that video aged about as well as does it. But it feels very surreal because Oda just keeps slapping us in the face with Zoro hype chapter after chapter. Not that I'm complaining, especially because this revelation just makes a lot of sense. Zoro is aiming to be at the top of his own particular sword-based empire, so Conqueror's Haki just fits. With that said, there is a brief caveat I'd like to go over because I would be hesitant to say that it's 100% confirmed that Zoro has Conqueror's Haki, and this is entirely because of Enma. Right before Zoro invoked Ashura, we were treated to this panel showcasing Enma specifically. Once again, just letting us know that, hey, this sword that's kind of important, and you should probably keep it in mind. And while I consider it to be a small and unlikely possibility, I wouldn't completely discount the idea that there is perhaps some lingering Conqueror's Haki in Enma from Odin that was just unleashed here accidentally by Zoro. I mean, I'm not going to argue it too much because I do think it's a shaky concept, but it just fascinates me that Oda went out of his way to go, hey, look at Enma right before this revelation. However, I do really enjoy the thought that Zoro is just having his moment of invoking Conqueror's Haki without realizing it. Sort of like what Luffy was able to do pre-time skip. The Conqueror's Haki just started leaking from his Haki orifice. And it's also quite fun because of chapter 997 where Oda made a joke about Zoro having Conqueror's Haki, which I supposed is now technically going to be classified as foreshadowing, unless the Odin potential pans out, and then it could just be a running gag for people's thinking that Zoro has Conqueror's Haki, when in reality there's always just a weird coincidental explanation. What is simultaneously glorious and frustrating though is Ashura. Firstly, I love that we saw it. It's been far too long. It was almost at the point where I felt like Oda may have been intentionally trying to forget about it just because of how weird it is, but even better than seeing the technique itself was getting to experience Law's reaction to the event. Law's reaction to Zoro. He has no idea what he's looking at. All of a sudden Zoro spawns 4 extra arms and 2 extra heads, and Law's just like, I have traversed all over the Grand Line, but what the hell is this? Ashura is still kind of weird though, because here's the thing. At first I kind of bubbled a bit here and suspected that Kaido's explanation for Ashura was Zoro using Conqueror's Haki to spawn his limbs and swords and stuff. Upon further reflection, I don't think that's the case anymore, because Kaido only mentioned it after being cut, which would imply that he's referring to the damage inflicted rather than the fancy demonic auto phenomenon. Then again, there's also this really cool panel of Kaido reacting to Ashura with the utmost of seriousness, and a shot of like pure dread in his eyes. But it did his cool straight line shading effect here, so I guess Kaido could have picked up on it then. It's just very hard to say, and it's probably left deliberately ambiguous for the sake of fun fan discussion, which is good business. Whatever the case, we've rather unceremoniously reached a point in this series that Zoro fans have desperately craved, which was him being pushed to his limits post-timeskip. I don't think it's quite the way anyone would have imagined it playing out, but as suspected from the hints of the last chapter, Zoro is pretty broken and at least temporarily going to call it quits for now. I can't imagine that he'll stay out of the raid entirely, though there's just too many decent healers moving around. Downstairs, Chopper is a miracle doctor, and even Marco is a straight-up Phoenix magic shaman doctor. So there's a lot of good options floating around to get Zoro back up on his feet. Whether or not be facing off against Kaido again. Question, and one that we may answer. Now, at first, we do have something rather important to do because Zoro has actually become the first character during this raid to properly wound on Kaido, slash that will in scar, very akin to the achievements of those of the so that is a definite breakthrough for Zoro, bringing his total to 5. With that said, Zoro was the mere opening act of 1010. Anything he achieved was pretty much immediately blown away by the one and only Monkey D. Luffy, who for the first time in I think ever has convinced me that he might be able to take on Kaido for feeling the emotions of others. Those are both basic uses. But then again, if we're using armament Haki instead of Conquerors, that's definitely the advanced setting, so I don't know. Haki is just very vague and odd like that. Right now I'm just going to call what Luffy does a Conqueror's Fisting. But Chapter 1010 really does mark the point in One Piece where Luffy is pretty much officially risen to the top of this world. Given that he is now performing feats of a similar nature to that of Whitebeard and Roger, albeit on a smaller scale, regardless it still puts Luffy within a very, very different realm of combat. And I actually think that his confidence in the end of this chapter is quite well earned. Oh man, what an ending. Is he actually going to do this? Because that Luffy pose right there, to me, suggests that he is. The final panel of this chapter